Cynicism is gone.
Hello everyone, Joshua Myers here, and I'm kind of doing a different setup here. In fact, I'm going back to my old setup here in my bedroom like it used to be before I got the man cave set up. So, and the reason why is because it's outside is just so cold. It's just so cold outside, I just don't even feel like going into the man cave right now. So I'm just going to be doing my videos here until it gets warmer. Like, let's say if it gets warmer tomorrow, then I'll go to the man cave. If not, then I'll still stay here. So just basically whenever it gets warmer. Anyway, so today I got for you a review of a 1980s camp slasher film. Yes, another one of those. And that is Don't Go Into the Woods Alone from 1982.
For some people, a simple warning is never enough. By the time Alma heard it, it was too late. Something's out there in the woods, and it's killing people. Joni never thought it could happen to her. Ingrid and Peter couldn't believe it happened to them. Something's out there, waiting. Something a little bit wild and crazy. For some people, a simple warning is never enough. It's your decision. If you want it chopped off, just take it to the woods. Remember, the call of the wild is the last thing on earth you want to hear. Don't go in the woods. It's coming soon. For some people, a simple warning is never enough.
Don't Go Into the Woods Alone stars Mary Gale Arts, Angie Brown, James P. Hayden, and is directed by James Bryan. The plot of Don't Go Into the Woods Alone is that young campers trek through the mountains while someone is slaughtering tourists in the dense forest. Now, before I get into the rest of my review, I would like to say I have never seen this movie. It's just one of those, like, slasher movies that came out during the, golden age of slashers, and it was one of those films trying to rip off films like Halloween and Friday the 13th. Mostly Friday the 13th, I could tell with this. So I was going to check it out at some point, and I did. It's free to watch on Tubi. So, and I have Tubi on my Roku, so I decided to watch it, and I got some thoughts here, so let's just get right into them. I only have one real positive with this movie, and that positive is, to be honest, is the location. I think, honestly, if this location was in a much better story and movie and everything like that for a slasher film, it actually would look pretty cool. And it does, for the most part. I actually do like the environment here. It's different from other camp slashers, so I'll give it that credit in regards to location. It doesn't feel like Sleepaway Camp. It doesn't feel like Madman. It doesn't feel like Friday the 13th. I would give it that credit. It has an interesting location that, honestly, I wish I could make a movie in. And I think I probably will come up with a much better movie than what we got here. And that's where the positives end. So and I have a lot of negatives, so let's just get right into this. The story is boring as hell, and it's basically a concept we have seen time and time again. It's another one of those cases where a group of teenagers go into the woods, and there's a killer stalking them one by one. And knowing that too, at least some of the other films like Sleepaway Camp, Madman, and Friday the 13th at least had more substance to this plot. And I didn't even like Sleepaway Camp, but I did like Madman and Friday the 13th, so yeah, they had at least more substance with this plot. And that's all this plot is just a few kind of teenagers, like campers and like basically hikers. I honestly don't know what the fuck they are. But to me, they're campers. They're supposedly hikers, but to me, they're campers. They do camp in the movie, and they just go into the woods, get picked off by a serial killer one by one, and that's it. That's really the plot of the movie. There's just no substance to it, which makes it more boring, honestly. If it at least had some substance, like even Sleepaway Camp in that, at least Sleepaway Camp was more... I can't believe I'm saying this, but because of the disturbing level of Sleepaway Camp and the kind of, like, insensitive and offensive stuff in that movie, at least it made it a bit more memorable than this. I'll give Sleepaway Camp that bit of credit, but here, nothing. There's nothing. I don't even remember most of the movie. I don't remember what the characters look like. I just remember that, first of all, and this transitions into my next negative, is how bad the acting is. A lot of them is very monotone and seem to have no passion with their acting whatsoever. And the characters are just stock. I don't remember any of their names. I don't even remember what any of them looked like. I don't even remember how many characters were there in this movie, actually. Like, or any of the genders, nothing like that. That's how bad this was and how forgettable it was. So, yeah, I didn't really like the characters. Honestly, the kills aren't even really that good either. You know, again, I think there were much better kills in Sleepaway Camp. There were much better kills in Madman, which Madman I think had better kills than Sleepaway Camp, and then Friday the 13th had better kills than Madman. This is probably the weakest film of these types of camp slasher films in regards with the kills, because they look so cheap, and all that too. Some of them are even off screen. You don't even see them, and they don't do it the off screen in a way it's to build suspense and tension. Also, the music is pretty bad too. It's just kind of just. I mean, I bet I could probably come up with better music than this on the fly. And all that too, like some of the stingers, like where they place the stingers and that is just really annoying, and I think they utilize that way too much. I could keep on going on about my negatives with this movie, because to be honest, there's a lot to talk about with that, but we'll be here all day, and I promised myself this would just be a quickie review. It's not even worth doing like a 10-minute review or something like that of this movie. It's really not. So with all that out of the way, let's just move on to my rating. So with that said, I'm going to give Don't Go Into the Woods Alone a 1 out of 5 stars. The 1 star is being generous, I must admit, because the only thing it had going for it, in my opinion, was the location did look nice, and like if I was able to film there, I bet I could probably come up with a much better movie out of it, which I wish it wasn't a better movie. So, but that's about it. Yeah, like, I just don't know. Like, this movie was such a bore. Like, this is the same situation with Sleepaway Camp. It was one of those movies that I couldn't watch all the way through. I basically stopped halfway through the movie and didn't decide to watch it. And it was for a different reason than Sleepaway Camp. Whereas with Sleepaway Camp, I turned it off because I thought it was pretty offensive and just so uncomfortable. I just didn't want to watch it anymore, and uncomfortable in a not so good way. This one is just because it was just such a bore to get through. It felt like a chore to watch it. It wasn't fun. It wasn't, any bit interesting. I just felt like, honestly, there were quite a few times when I was watching it, I felt like taking a nap while watching it. Like, I could probably sleep to Don't Go Into the Woods Alone. I really think that. And I do know there are some fans out there of this movie. If you're one of those, that's fine. You do you. I mean, you're perfectly entitled to your own opinion in that. So this is just mine. So don't go in the comments saying, "Oh, you didn't like Don't Go Into the Woods Alone. It's a cult classic." Blah 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 blah. I don't care. And I did try to give it try to go into it with an open mind. I was wanting to like it just like I did with Sleepaway Camp, but honestly this film wasn't for me, so I'm sorry if that was the case. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and remember to not go into the woods alone. I'd suggest bringing some friends and maybe start a drinking game with this movie, because that's the only way I'd suggest going into these woods alone while watching this movie. It's just, because